Side ops list
The side
updated.
ops list is comprised of problems we need you to resolve. Objectives to be completed, and information gained from the soldiers and prisoners you've extracted. These aren't missions per se, but if you can take care of them when you're free, I'd appreciate it.
Oh. Der hat mich gar nicht gesehen. Oder was? Geht direkt nicht zu denen. Man sieht den Typen, der auf dem Pferd. Oh, jetzt hat er mich, glaube ich, irgendwie entdeckt. Oder? Ich glaube, ich gehe ein bisschen weiter weg. Aber ich will mir noch mal die Motherbase anschauen, die neue.
Ja.
Wir würden dann direkt zurückkehren. Inklusive B.
Please select a strike point. Please select a landing zone. A support helicopter
Roger.
requested.
Kann man den Support-Helikopter anfordern? Möchte ich dann auf jeden Fall direkt zur Motherbase zurück. Oh Leute. Das Pferd nicht zu unterstützen. Ich weiß nicht, wie die Zeit bei Pferden. Aber wissen wie bei Zelda, nicht zu sehr schlagen. Ja, schlagen ist, glaube ich, das wirklich richtige Wort. Ah, da kommt der Jedi. Ich habe ja voll hoch. Ja.
This is B-Quad. Arriving shortly at LZ. This is B-Quad. On station at LZ.
Geil. Ich habe schon den fertig getan.
Departing area of operations.
Departing.
So. Ich möchte mir unbedingt die Motherbase
Extraction
anschauen.
arrived at Motherbase.
Nachladen. Kennen wir schon.
By connecting your iDroid to the onboard computer, you turn the chopper into your own aerial command center, or ACC. Some elements of staff assignment and R&D of weapons and items can only be performed from there. Take as long as you need to consider all your options.
Tagesbelohnungen. Hier kommen wir auf jeden Fall.
Select unit.
Ah, ich weiß nicht, Technikteam oder Intel-Team.
Select unit.
Aber ich sehe gerade, das Intel-Team haben wir, glaube ich, noch gar nicht. Kommt zum Entwicklungsteam.
Staff assigned. Select unit. Staff assigned. Select unit. Select unit.
Oh. Ja, gerade die anderen sind ja, glaube ich, schon alle. Nein. Übungseinheit. Bau. Alle Meister dort. Also der Typ ist jetzt im Bau. Miller und Ocelot habe ich noch nicht so gewesen. Kann ich auch nicht. Okay, kann ich auch nicht. Das System funktioniert ganz anders als in Peace Walker noch. Alter.
Select unit.
Irgendwie wird es dauernd mehr angezeigt, dass ich mehr habe.
Select unit.
Der Vertrag. Ach so. So gibt's die.
Select unit.
Die wurde ja schon automatisch so gewesen. Schraubverbesserung.
Please specify a project. Please specify a project.
Das Spiel riesig. So viele Sachen.
Please specify a project.
Kampfanzug. Keramikplatten. Western Outfit. Nicht taktische Ausrüstung für Tierhaus. Spezielle Sattel und Zeug für Zeremonien, Paraden und formalisierte Anrede. Ob real oder in der Fantasie. Nicht taktische Ausrüstung. Western Outfit. Ach du Scheiße, 5000 kostet mich. Jetzt machen wir uns bei den Waffen um.
Please specify a project.
Schaden, effektive Reichweite, aber die Zielhilfe bringt. Shit könnte ich nutzen. EMP. Ferngesteuerte Bombe. Rauchgranate, Karton. Hydride. Schleichanzug. Und noch mehr DLC-Zeug. APD. Na gut, das blicke ich mal. Ich gucken, überleg's mir mal. Beschwingung, Schaden. Silber, Olivböen, Weiß, Gold. Wie, nicht nur das goldene Ding. Ja komm, Ein Ausrichten. Leuchtgranate. Oh! C4. Kann ich gebrauchen. Und das kann ich auch gebrauchen. Job. Die Sniper kann ich auch gebrauchen. Ja, möchte ich auch gleich auftragen. Soll ich eine Revolver nehmen? Muster, Universalteilmuster, Gebirgsparadenmuster. Ich gucke mir nochmal die Ares-Rüstung mal an. Weil ich glaube, jetzt bald mir nichts mehr für die kaufen.
Please specify a project.
Lautsprecher.
Please specify a project.
Alt gesperrt noch. Was davon ist mir gesperrt? Die kann ich auch nicht machen.
Please specify a project.
Oh lol.
Please select a mission.
Nee, Mission. Vorsicht, Dolmetscher ausschalten. Kassetten. Missionsbeschichten auf kleines Inhalte auf der Motherbase. Die Kassetten. Meine Kassetten, die ich schon von Graduiers habe ich immer noch nicht bekommen. Muss man auch die Kassetten ja mal durchlesen. Ich glaube, die sind tatsächlich für das geheime Ende wichtig. Ohne zu viel zu spoilern. Geh jetzt mal zur Motherbase.
Heading to Motherbase.
Weil ich möchte die mir auf jeden Fall anschauen. Können Sie jetzt auch bei Peace Walker komplett selbst, anders als bei Peace Walker, komplett selbst designen und auch erkunden. Es gibt auch einen Online-Modus. Da setzt sich, glaube ich, der komplette Online-Modus, der spielt, dass man Motherbase aufbauen kann und
Boss!
Boss, you're the leader of the pack. Folks start worrying when you're gone too long.
Das war eine Mission weg. Hat sich erhöht. Nimmt die Moral des Personals auf der Motherbase zu, verbessern sich ihre Fähigkeiten über ihre eigentliche Stufe hinaus. Kehrt sie häufig zur Motherbase zurück, um die Moral zu heben. So eine Lampe. Ich kann auch die Gegner blenden damit. Die werden nur da. Oh. Ja, kann ich nicht nutzen. Habe leider nur ein Talbundgewehr. Gucke ich mal hier ein bisschen um. Frage mich, ob da wirklich Teile runterfallen. Nur diese einen Simpsons-Folge, wo ich schon mal verletzen wollte. Bin ich schon echt krass detailreich. Praktisch wie das Ding aufgebaut ist, wenn es komplett voll ist. Oh Gott, das Ding bewegt sich. Ja, jetzt mit den Hängen habe ich verstanden. Ich sollte nur aufpassen, dass ich nicht ins Meer falle. Oder auf den Typen auf den Kopf knalle. Alles okay?
Thank you, boss.
Weiß aber nicht, wie ich kann dir nicht antworten und auch nicht salutieren, wie es aussieht. Das Ding erinnert mich irgendwie, die Motherbase erinnert mich sehr stark an das, ich weiß nicht, Plane, wie hieß es nochmal? Plane, irgendwas mit Plane hieß es irgendwie. Also auf jeden Fall das Gebiet aus Metal Gear Solid 2 vom Design her. Ne, das ist nur ein Feuerlöscher. Das ist ein Typ mit Mütze. So ein Wartungsarbeiter oder so, wie man kennt. Captain nutzt mir nicht. Oder Leitern. Gehen wir mal hier rein. Ein sehr japanisches Schild zu sein, weil ich glaube, solche Bilder sind eher japanischen Werbeanzeigen zu sehen. Ich kann auch die Typen hier markieren. Work in Progress. Oh, ich kann nicht durch. Hier rein komme ich auch nicht. Oh.
I was confused by a lot of things at first, but I feel welcome.
Well, that's what counts, right? Nobody here treats you differently based on your color or country. In that respect, very open-minded.
Yeah, I don't know what the future holds, but for now, I plan on staying.
Glad to hear it. Looking forward to working with you.
Same here.
Das ist schön. Also man kann auch die Typen lauschen, weil die Typen haben gegenseitig auch Gespräche. Was ich ganz cool finde. Ich kenne dich doch.
Analysis complete.
Auch sogar das Design der Typen mit einfließt. Also nicht einfach so rated NPCs sind, sondern auch, dass es halt eben Leute sind, die man tatsächlich getroffen hat. Aber mehr kann ich, glaube ich, jetzt nicht unbedingt machen auf der Motherbase. Ob hier unten irgendwas Cooles zu sehen ist. Embleme kann ich noch ändern, habe ich gesehen. Ich könnte ja auch die ganzen höheren reinkommen. Oh, warte, was war das jetzt? Reinkommen. Ah, ich kann hier hochklettern.
The pipes, huh? They're strong enough. Could make for a nice shortcut.
Ja, ist ein nicer Shortcut. Aber hoch kann ich nirgendwo, wie es aussieht. Hier vielleicht höchstens. Und Schießen habe ich auch schon gesehen. Hoch soll ich. Ich versuche noch mal Sebastians Stream auf jeden Fall zu erreichen. Aber ich darf mich nicht zu sehr im Spiel verlieren. Danger, voll. Jetzt sagt. Hanging from ledges saves lives. Ledges, nee, hanging from ledges saves fight. Ich glaube, der meint, dass man nicht runterfallen soll. Haben auch nicht ins Meer. Oh, kann ich nicht. Safety first. Die ganzen Details finde ich super. Die ganzen Details hier finde ich super. Aber ich glaube, das meiste hier haben wir schon... Oh. Bin ich jetzt hier? Haben wir, glaube ich, jetzt schon gesehen. Ganz nice aus hier.
Boss, you need some boss.
Entschuldigung. Nachschubabwurf. Ne, brauche ich erstmal nicht. Entwicklung, Datenbahn, Personalverwaltung. Nee, das ist nicht, was ich machen wollte. Ich muss, glaube ich, zu den Missionen erstmal gehen. Oder Mission starten. Schrauber.
Please select a landing zone.
Roger. This is B-Quad. Arriving shortly at LZ. This is B-Quad. On station at LZ. Gaining altitude. Boss, as requested, we've added an analyzer function to your binoculars. Now you can view soldiers or POWs and get a readout on their rank or any special skills they might have. Depending on their skills, they may even be able to develop new types of weapons or items. Try it out the next time you're thinking of folding someone.
Fähigkeiten. Wie kann ich die Fähigkeit mir genauer anschauen? Bei Peace War gab es so ein Analysegerät. Denke ich nicht, dass ich was machen wollte. Ah, das ist das, was ich machen wollte. Aber Kassetten so müsste ich auch mal mir anhören.
You were hospitalized in Dekelia, a British sovereign base area on Cyprus. It's part of British overseas territory that falls outside of Cypriot jurisdiction. You got moved from Cuba's Little America right into Cyprus's Little Britain. Why Dekelia? The UK and the US remain close allies. The last place Cypher would think to look for you is inside their own system. That's what kept you safe in British military hospital for 9 years. The safest place from a whale is inside its own belly. You were a regular Geppetto.
Well, it wasn't Pinocchio who led me out to safety. So who was that guy?
Cypher went so far as to attack British territory, burning their own ally. That's how badly they wanted you dead.
He said I was in a British military hospital. But the doctor had a Greek accent.
They hire locally. Easier to trust them. Dikelia is also home to Greek Cypriots, after all.
What about the Turks? They haven't returned to the south.
Not yet. The Cyprus dispute is still a long way from resolved. The country is just as split as it was in '74. Turkish Cypriots in the north, Greek Cypriots in the south. Between them, the Green Line, the UN established.
And Dikelia sits right on top of it.
It does. Part of the buffer zone between the two groups. Another reason it was the perfect place to hide you. Easy to spot any outsiders snooping around.
So how do things stand?
Now, last year, the Turks declared that the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus is an independent state, though it's only Turkey that recognizes it. In the past, the Greeks and Turks lived side by side in the same villages. There are reasons to fight. Those came from the outside. Greece, Turkey, Britain, America, they all had their own stake in pitting the two sides against each other. But once you spark something like this, it's impossible to control. Both sides build up grudges like debt, without the foresight to see that each act of revenge just fans the flames, and then it's too late for other nations to rush in with peace talks. The embers keep on smoldering. Each nation's arrogance only breeds anarchy. The world is paralyzed by this hunger for revenge. Cyprus is no different. You're up.
We're changing ships?
We can't go sailing the Suez in a whaler.
The Suez Canal. When did they reopen it?
Not long after you were attacked. Once they finished sweeping it for mines after the Arab-Israeli conflict. Can you stand? We're going to transfer to a container ship for passage through the Suez. Our destination is Pakistan, Afghanistan's neighbor to the south. There, we disembark and head via Peshawar to the Zero Line, the border. We'll travel to the Khyber Pass by road.
And then?
We continue on horseback. Afghanistan's main roads are under Soviet control. We'll need to go around them. It'll be all narrow, winding paths through the mountains. We'll do better on horseback. It's a local guerrilla tactic. They use the higher ridges to avoid air recons. Then they charge down the mountains for ambushes. The Soviets still haven't devised a counter-strategy. Our time frame is only half as much as we really need. It's gonna be a tough march.
Better horses than boats.
Well, it'll make for good physiotherapy. Take the time to get used to that new arm.
While the Soviets have indicated they are not participating in the Los Angeles Olympics, primarily because the United States has made no attempt to guarantee the safety of the Soviet Union's athletes, the United States is increasingly demonstrating the belief that the issue has nothing to do with its preparations, and in fact this is retaliation for the Western nation's boycott of the previous Moscow Olympics. That concludes today's news.
That's quite some news.
The Soviet Union not attending the LA Olympics? Yeah. Andropov's death has changed some things. They're calling it revenge for the Western boycott of the Moscow Olympics.
Countries boycotted the Moscow Olympics?
Yes. In protest of the Soviet Union's invasion of Afghanistan. Over 50 countries were absent. It's too bad I didn't get to see Yamashita's judo. When the 40th Army crossed the Amu River 4 years ago, détente went right out the window. The U.S. Congress chose not to ratify SALT II, and Reagan's hardline politics won in the presidency in a landslide. According to him, the Soviet Union's an evil empire.
The Second Cold War.
And there's been no end to regional conflicts and civil wars. Lebanon, the Falklands, Grenada, Iran, Iraq. The story never changes. Egypt and Israel did sign a peace treaty. But then the driving force on the Egyptian side, President Sadat, was assassinated afterward. Apparently his actions were considered a betrayal of his fellow Arabs.
Islamic extremists?
Yes. Fundamentalist extremists have been responsible for some bold acts of terrorism in recent years. We've had extremist students in Iran take U.S. embassy workers hostage, and suicide bombings in Lebanon. Over 300 foreign soldiers stationed there have been killed. The countries have yet to develop an effective means of dealing with terrorism. Afraid of losing their own men, they've pulled their forces out, handing private forces a golden opportunity.
Private forces.
Small armies with no national affiliation, working for the highest bidder. That's right, they got the idea from you. After Motherbase went down, they began spreading to meet the soaring demand. Miller's organization is just one of many PFs now. The entire world is after you, but at the same time, it needs you too. Miller told me about what happened in the Caribbean 9 years ago. You do remember Miller. You'd formed a private army with him, an army with no allegiance to a nation.
I remember, but...
I see. You're not sure what's fact and what's a fantasy caused by the coma. It's still all a mess, huh? All I can do is tell you the facts as they were told to me. I've gone easy on you up until now, but this is where the hard stuff begins. 1974, the year before you entered your coma. You were in Colombia, operating with a small unit of men, basically mercenaries. Miller was among them. Miller was trying to find a way to turn his and your talents into a line of work. He was looking to start a business where you would fight on behalf of others around the world, those who needed military force. But the reality was, at that time, you didn't have enough gear to equip your own men. Then Miller came across this client. It was a huge job he was offering, but you had a shot at pulling it off. You accepted it and headed into Costa Rica. The client even threw in an offshore facility in the Caribbean. The Motherbase, that would be your new base of operations. Miller sure did have a head for business. As your mission went on, your unit grew and grew. More weapons, more money. Before you knew it, you were commanding 300 men. As the organization got bigger, your military powers swelled to match. It got so the international community couldn't afford to ignore you. You were just too damn successful for your own good. You, your men, had worn out your welcome. Everyone was out for you. East, West, First World, Third. It was only a matter of time before someone took you down. And that was XOF. Officially, they're an anti-terror unit under the CIA. In reality, they're Cypher's private strike force. They lured you to Cuba using Chico, the Nicaraguan revolutionary kid, and Paz, a mole who worked for Cypher as bait. While you were gone, XOF, posing as a nuclear inspection team, stormed Motherbase. At the same time, C4 they placed on the strut legs went off. The whole thing went down in minutes. XOF. Kisses and hugs followed by a big FU. All because of Miller's blind spot. A back door into Motherbase no one suspected. You remember a certain scientist. Huey was responsible for bringing the inspection team on board, giving the enemy a perfect opportunity to hit you at home. You were returning from Cuba when it happened. Motherbase came damn close to taking you with it into the Caribbean. Those of your men out on assignment returned right away. They refused to believe the wreckage in the water they found was Motherbase. But they checked the coordinates again and again, until reality finally settled in. You were supposed to die that day. That was XOF's primary objective. As far as most folks know, you did. The first doctor to see you wasn't even sure what he was looking at. Before they'd even finished operating, your men moved you to that hospital in Cyprus. It was a woman named Eva who arranged that. Rings a bell, huh? Most men in your condition would have been written off right from the start. But you survived. You went straight down to hell, and they pulled you out. Your eye wide open. Full of venom. The days of naked Snake are long gone. Welcome back, Venom Snake. This world still needs you. Here, Snake, try this on.
A prosthetic arm.
Yeah, Miller was calling it the arm that wasn't there. The physiotherapy's going well. Your arm's bulked up enough for it to fit. There. Perfect. A little time with it, and it'll work better than the real thing. What do you think?
I can still feel my real arm.
Well, you better get used to this one quick. You have any pain?
Every now and then.
Where?
My fingertips. My left fingertips.
Sounds like phantom pain. Your brain still remembers your old hand.
Yeah.
What about your vision? Can you see okay?
Yeah, at the moment.
Now, the shrapnel in your skull is pressing on your optic nerve. I'm told any hard impact could have an effect on your visual cortex.
Yeah. The doctor mentioned that.
Your brain might process visual information incorrectly. In other words, you could have hallucinations. You might see things that aren't there, or not see things as they really are. You experienced any of that?
I think so.
When?
Right after I wake up. Colors look faded.
Colors, huh? Well, that's not a major concern in and of itself, but it could mean the difference between life and death in the field. You'll need to watch out for that.
I will.
All right. You should continue your physio. We'll be arriving soon. It's the last chance you'll get.
Hoppla, wollte ich jetzt nicht. Oh Leute, regnet das jetzt draußen? Ich will die Kassetten alle anhören.
I hear they started calling you Shalashaska in Afghanistan. What's that about?
You know the term Sharashka? It's slang for a suspicious, hastily thrown together organization. The word became associated with a type of forced labor facility in the Soviet Gulag system. OKB scientists and engineers who'd been convicted of crimes were sent to a Sharashka for forced R&D. The Sharashkas were supervised by Lavrenti Beria of the NKVD, the secret police, under the official name 4th Special Department.
Forced research? That's not very different from what we do here.
Diamond Dogs is different. Everyone here believes in you. Regardless of where they came from or why they're here, they revere you. And they're fighting because it was their choice.
And if it wasn't, they'd leave?
Who knows? That's our reality here, whether it's real or not. If there's another truth, I don't want to know it. All that matters is that's the concept that's taken shape in their heads. The traces of a group ideology, our superstructure, to put it in Marxist terms.
All right. Go on.
Right. So anyway, at some point the enemy started calling me Sharashka. This was after the war in Afghanistan broke out. While I was keeping an eye on you in that hospital, I was also heading up interrogations here. The men I broke gave up their comrades and families, everything they wanted to protect them most. No real cause for it. I just let myself get caught up in the old Russian pride. And suddenly I received the honor of becoming Special Interrogation Advisor to the forced labor camps. But the more men I interrogated, the more people saw me as just that, the interrogator. It helped cover my real objective of keeping you safe.
You went that far for me?
Far enough to keep you alive. I ended up being pretty well known among the Afghan guerrillas. Some of them would have seen me on the battlefield, and that's how I got the second half of the name. Shashka. It's a sword, a type of saber from the Caucasus. Russian dragoons and Cossacks carried them into battle. Now, the Russian Empire had a general by the name of Fyodor Arturovich Keller. His bravery earned him the nickname Russia's Greatest Shashka. Someone must have known about that, because somewhere along the line, Shashka got stuck on the end of Sharashka. The guerrillas were using the name amongst themselves, and by the time I got to hearing about it, pronunciation had wound up as Shalashashka.
So, half Gulag, half Hero Sword. Is a perfect fit.
But you see how rumors and ideas about people can get out of hand fast. Once you create a character and put it out there in public mind, it warps and twists with every baseless rumor. And before you know it, all people see are phantoms. In my case, it works out just fine. I'm plenty used to working under aliases.
So SALT II still hasn't gone into effect.
That treaty was drawn up to limit not just the size of the U.S. and Soviet Union's nuclear arsenals, but also their delivery systems. The whole deal. Just when we thought all those years of negotiations had paid off, somebody decides to invade Afghanistan. The timing couldn't have been worse.
The president was in the middle of the SALT II talks back then.
You mean while you were busy trying to stop Peace Walker? I heard. President Ford was meeting with the General Secretary in Vladivostok. In his absence, the political brass in America detected what they didn't realize was false nuclear launch data from Peace Walker, and were on the verge of ordering a retaliatory nuclear strike.
Coleman's big idea? Humans are incapable of destroying themselves. Turns out he never knew what humans are capable of.
If that AI, the boss, hadn't found a way to stop the fake data transmission, they probably would have gone ahead with the launch.
Deterrence was revealed as the pipe dream it was.
All thanks to you. And her. The U.S.-Soviet talks looked set to fall through. What happened in Nicaragua no doubt helped trigger a change of heart. But in the end...
The time's to find the politics. When you've grabbed their tail, they turn and bite your hand.
I first met you 20 years ago now. The place was Selenoyarsk in the Soviet Union. We were enemies. I was with the GRU. You were still fighting for America. 1964. Operation Snake Eater. Its objective? The assassination of the legendary soldier known as the Boss. When you returned home successful, they awarded you the title Big Boss. Your CO, Zero, sought to carry on the boss's will by covertly establishing his own organization. You knew the original members from Operation Snake Eater. From America, there was David O, or as he was to you, Major Zero. Donald Anderson, aka Sigint, Dr. Clark, who went by paramedic during the operation, and the fourth, you. From China, there was Eva, and me, Ocelot, from the Soviet Union. 6 in total. To us, government notions of friend and foe were meaningless. As were East and West, we joined forces by our will alone. Our objective was to fulfill the boss's dying wish, to make the world one. And to do it, Zero used the Philosopher's Legacy, the secret war fund you obtained during Operation Snake Eater. This organization would go on to become Cypher. I, on the other hand, was left with the problem. You only recovered half of the legacy. I had to locate the other half myself. When I found the funds, I passed them on to Zero, just as you wanted.
I still trusted him in those days.
We thought what he was doing was the boss's will, until he started that one project.
Les enfants terribles, Zero called it.
You parted ways, as did Eva, leaving only Anderson and Clark still with him. I maintained limited contact, although truth be told, we were just keeping tabs on one another. The reason was always you. After you returned to the Army and created Foxhound, you left America. For a time, even I'd lost track of you. I'd imagine Zero did too. You always were the best when it came to hide and seek. Zero created Cypher, an information network to tap into every corner of the globe. Woven together, Cypher's arteries make the world just one big organism. And that's not all. It also monitors the thorn in Zero's side. That's you, tracking your coordinates wherever you might go. The further you strayed from your roots, the larger Zero became. It's as if he was trying to close the gap between you. But before long, he disappeared from public life. Only a few people had direct contact with him. For a time, I was one of them. Then a year after you fell into your coma, he slipped out of sight entirely. Since then, nothing. No photos, no recordings, not even a reliable rumor as to his whereabouts. I tried every method I could think of, but Zero was gone. Freed of his control, his creation, his power continued to grow. Cypher is a great beast, and Zero was its spine. But even without him, it's endured, evolved. But now its body is rotting, riddled with parasites. Parasites like the ones who attacked you 9 years ago in the Caribbean, and then at the hospital. Cypher's Black Ops Unit, XOF. They learned where you were, and came to wipe the slate clean. Christmas Eve, 1979, the Soviet Union rolled into Afghanistan. Muslims had revolted against the Soviet-friendly regime established the year before. The DRA forces could no longer contain it themselves, so the Soviets went in to intervene. The Afghan government was powerless and fraught with infighting. They lost the hearts and minds of the people, and that alarmed the Soviet leadership. With the Islamic Revolution happening in Iran, the Soviets felt they had to act fast or risk the spread of Islamic revivalism. A superpower, sending a motorized rifle division against men on horseback with antique rifles. Everyone thought it'd be over in an instant, only it wasn't. Some Muslims made their fight a jihad, a holy war, and began a guerrilla campaign on all fronts. A war of attrition. These fighters call themselves mujahideen. They're being supported by the West through Pakistan. That's why Miller was involved. He was training them near the Zero Line, sponsored by the CIA. The war has become a nightmare for the Soviet troops stationed here. They thought they'd be headed home in 6 months at the most. Then a year passed. 2 years. Now here we are 4 years on with no exit in sight. Afghanistan has become the Soviet Union's Vietnam. The Soviet troops on the ground want to go home, but at least they have homes to go back to. The Afghans have lost theirs. The Soviets destroy the kishlaks, villages, wherever they can. They burn down homes and fields, fill in wells, turn pastures into minefields. It's created a mass of refugees who fled to Pakistan. If the mujahideen are fish swimming around the villages, the Soviets will go so far as to dry out their ocean. But this has had a big price. There's bitter resentment among the Afghans, and they're taking out their anger on the soldiers on the front lines. Among the mujahideen are the Pashtun people. They're fiercely devoted to their code of badal, or revenge. Soviets they've captured have had their hands, feet, and noses cut off before being left to die at the side of the road, just to show their comrades what they're capable of. Friendlies who come across them can do nothing but put them out of their misery. Then they burn down another village in retaliation. And the cycle of vengeance goes on.
Ich mache aber jetzt weiter. Wollte aber zumindest einige Kassetten mir schon mal anhören. Ich mache mal ganz kurz Pause, weil ich muss auf Klo. Ich lasse aber dabei Musik laufen. Wo ist das? Ah, hier. Bis gleich. So, ich bin wieder da. Ich hoffe, man kann noch alles hören, oder? Alles hören, oder? Alles hören, oder? Hoppla. Ja, kann man. Entschuldigung, weil man nichts gehört hat. Ich glaube, ich habe mein Headset ausgeschaltet. Dabei habe ich, glaube ich, außerdem auch die Musik ausgeschaltet. Sebastian scheint heute nicht mehr zu sein, oder? Nee, also Sebastian scheint heute nicht mehr zu streamen. Ich dachte, er würde heute streamen, aber da habe ich vielleicht auch was falsch verstanden. Da fällt mir auf, dass ich hier unten rechts habe ich gar nicht etwas übersehen.
Please specify a project.
Okay, jetzt kaufe ich erstmal nichts mehr. Mach jetzt mal eine neue Mission. Hoppla. Da habe ich noch ein paar Nebenmissionen. Russisch Dolmetscher ausholen. Holen Sie einen Soldaten mit der Dolmetscherfähigkeit für Russisch aus. Na klar. Die Soldaten raus.
Please select a landing zone. Heading to Afghanistan.
Alter, das Ding größer ist, als ich gedacht habe. Ich meine, Sniper ist lieber. Habe ich schon alles ausgerüstet? Alle gibt. Ich habe ja genügend Zeug. Da habe ich keine. Nein, Mission starten.
Deploying.
Wenn irgendwas ist, dann sagt mir ruhig Bescheid. Also technisch, wenn technisch Probleme kommen. Land von Kabul. Wartet da Patch schon auf mich. Bin ich hier angeschossen?
Marker placed.
Oh Gott. Ja, wird angeschossen. Da sehe ich schon die ersten Leute. Muss ich, okay, da muss ich demnächst aber ganz schön aufpassen.
Ja.
Ah, der Ort Camel ist auch irgendwo. Die Dinge habe ich irgendwo schon mal gesehen. Ganz am Anfang. Geht so Stoffer mit dem Pferd.
Ja.
Gefühlt in die ganz falsche Richtung. Wo wieder zurück. Oh Gott.
Use your horse for traveling long distances. Let us know from your iDroid and we can send him to you.
Also, die senden mir das Pferd quasi. Wenn ich das richtig verstehe, oder was?
That wild dog pup. He's a tough little guy. Boss, this is no time to be playing with animals. What are you gonna do, boss?
Wo ist der Hund? Mit dem Welpen kann ich, glaube ich, was machen. Hallo, kleiner Hund. I know, but I have to save the dog.
Roger that. We'll pick him up.
Also du kannst, man kann den Hund als Begleiter nutzen. I knew that you can use the dog as a... I don't know what's the name in English. You can use the dog, I know it. Buddy. Yes, buddy. I know you can use the dog as a buddy. Huh, strange. No problem. Oh,
We found out there's an English-speaking soldier somewhere in the region. He's a language specialist. His role is to translate information related to the West into Russian. If we can get him to join us, we'll have the upper hand in information warfare. Find this language specialist and extract him.
you can leave the stream when you will. I'm not angry about this or what are kind of it. I can try to speak English now, but my English is not very good.
Эй,
Analysis complete.
это непросто. Наверное, работает в
Analysis
переводческом
complete.
отделении.
Okay, Sniper sollte ich mal nicht nehmen. So viel steht fest.
Extraction arrived at
Oh,
Motherbase.
Doc. No achievement? Oh. It's no problem for
The
me.
Soviet soldier in the Green Beret is speaking English. Must be a language specialist. With him on our side, we'd be capable of Russian interpretation support. Try and extract him.
Oh, damn it. Wait. Maybe it's not this kind of bad.
Analysis complete. You have arrived at your destination.
Got you.
Не делай этого!
Where are your friends?
Spit it out.
Sorry.
Lie down.
Ah, thank you for following me, Cunning Spartan 2. So, I got you.
Side ops list updated. Extraction arrived at Motherbase. Unit function added.
Boss, that language specialist you extracted has been very cooperative. Says he's always dreamed of living a free life, like folks in the West. What are the odds, huh? I've gone ahead and placed him in the support unit. His job is Russian interpretation. Now you'll know what Soviet soldiers are saying. You can even interrogate them. Should give you an edge in the mission.
Perfekt. Beziehungsweise perfekt. Sparen, ja. Truppen.
Please select a mission.
I think I make
select a mission.
this mission.
Mission accepted. The map has been updated. Extraction arrived at Motherbase. Development project has been
mortar.
added.
What a mortar. Ah! Do you mean this? Ah. Thank you.
Extraction arrived at Motherbase.
Ja. Überlegen. I get faster. Kurve. Au. Den Mega Stop. Hatten Sie hier? Nö. Oh.
Say, boss, you see many animals in the field. Truth is, an environmental NGO has asked us to remove wild animals from combat zones. If you have the time, can you extract some back here? There's a reward in it for us.
Ihre, beziehungsweise Animate. Okay, Käfig. But I don't see animate now. Oh. You mean this animate? Oh. I try it. Yeah. Oh, I got you.
Whoa.
I speak German. German. I play this game in German, but it has English stuff. There's no German dub in the Metal Gear game. Back from Metal Gear Solid 1.
Whoa.
Oh, what is this?
Extraction arrived at Motherbase.